now that we are in the midst of a global trade war, what does that mean for you? Well, guess what? Layoffs, Canada in general, if you look at the Canadian perspective, Canada was already suffering a lot. Canada's economy, inflation, real estate situation, everything. The unemployment report recently came out, very high unemployment rate of 6.7%. It's looking bad. It's looking bad, and there's layoffs happening in the auto industry, in the steel industry. What that means for people in those industries and everyone connected with those industries in Ontario, Canada, well, those are going to get impacted as well. So that means more layoffs, people not being able to, pay their mortgages, economic uncertainty. This is not a time that Canadians are. Some of the ramifications, first of all, what has happened, and also, how are these, how are the markets reacting to the latest Trump tariff announcement? For global markets, means chaos, means uncertainty. Stock markets tumbled. What were the results of the stock market? The Dow plunged by 2,231 points, or 5.5%. S&P 500 was 5.9% lower. The tech. Okay, welcome back to Canadian See Ya, where we talk about all things happening in Canada, politics, current affairs, and let's get down to the hottest topic of this week, which is Trump's global tariff war has started. What does it mean for Canada? What does it mean for other countries? What industries in Canada will get hit with this? And what is going on in this world in terms of the impacts of these tariffs? What is the ramification for the world economy in general? So don't go anywhere. Keep watching till the very end. For those of you that haven't subscribed to this channel, I make content in a humorous way about the various political affairs, economic affairs in Canada and also in the rest of the world. I do a lot of social commentary. I do make sure to do a lot of research and to bring you a nuanced, balanced view. I try not to take sides. So if you like that kind of content, please go ahead and show your support, subscribe, like. I'm a small-time creator. I need your support. I need that motivation. Go hit that subscribe button if you truly like this content, and let's get on with it. Okay, Trump's tariff war has started. What does it mean for, what does it mean for Canada? And I'm looking at my notes right here while I'll be making this particular video, and I want to discuss with you some of the ramifications. First of all, what has happened, and also, how are these, how are the markets reacting to the latest Trump tariff announcement? As you know, Trump has recently announced. Trump has announced a baseline 10% tariffs on the whole world, pretty much. There is a chart that he came out with, the tariff chart that he showed, yesterday in a press conference. What is the latest right now? Half countries responded. Canada is responding, has responded. European Union is thinking about responding. But guess what? China has come in huge, and it has responded to these tariffs. And this has affected the stock market in a big manner. U.S. stocks were battered by a steep sell-off Friday after China retaliated against the United States for President Donald Trump's tariffs. China imposed 34% reciprocal tariffs on imports of U.S. goods in retaliation for Trump's trade war. Now, keep in mind that China said that it's going to do that. So what does this mean for global markets? Means chaos, means uncertainty. Stock markets tumbled. What were the results of the stock market? The Dow plunged by 2,231 points, or 5.5%. S&P 500 was 5.9% lower. The tech-heavy NASDAQ was 5.8% lower. This is not good. This is not good. You know why? Investors do not like uncertainty. They need, investors are okay with if things are going good, things are going bad. They can plan those things, and the stock markets reflect that. But what the stock markets and investors don't like in general is uncertainty. And you can be assured that this uncertainty is causing a lot of anxiety. There are talks of potential recession in the world. The global economy in recession would not be a good thing. Now, there has been a little bit of a rally in stocks, but Wall Street has been impacted by it quite a bit. Now, how has Canada responded? Well, Canada, Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada has said that Canada would largely basically copy the 25% US border levies on foreign-made autos and imports, and they have hit back against US auto tariffs by slapping a 25% retaliatory border levy on all American-made vehicle imports, which are not covered by free trade deals. So if you're looking for an American car right now, you're going to pay a higher tax price on those American cars. And this is Canada will also impose a 25% levy on all foreign-made components of a CUSMA-compliant vehicle. So, for example, if there's a US-made CUSMA-compliant car that has a Japanese-made steering wheel, it would be hit with a 25% tariff on the value of the steering wheel when imported to Canada. It's crazy. I mean, I'm looking at this, and Carney has also said that more American tariffs may be coming on lumber or agriculture, pharmaceuticals, and semiconductors. It's a bit of a mess right now. Wall Street is not happy. Investors are not happy. No one is happy. What happened? The auto industry is suffering already. They're feeling a sense of betrayal because they're going to get impacted with jobs. So now that we are in the midst of a global trade war, what does that mean for you? Well, guess what? Layoffs, Canada in general, if you look at the Canadian perspective, Canada was already suffering a lot. Canada's economy, inflation, real estate situation, everything. The unemployment report recently came out, very high unemployment rate of 6.7%. It's looking bad. It's looking bad, and there's layoffs happening in the auto industry, in the steel industry. What that means for people in those industries and everyone connected with those industries in Ontario, Canada, well, those are going to get impacted as well. So that means more layoffs, people not being able to, pay their mortgages, economic uncertainty. This is not a time that Canadians are going to rush to the malls and, enthusiastically start spending money. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a little bit of a pain, I should say, that's coming our way. How is the rest of the world going to deal with this pain? It just depends. Every country is different, right? Every country's standard of living is different. But what I can say from a Canadian perspective is that Canada is going to suffer quite a bit because we are the northernmost neighbor of Canada, right? So the northernmost neighbor of the US. And we're the one neighbor that shares a huge border and has close proximity with the US. So when the US sneezes, we catch a cold, and right now we're catching, a pneumonia, I should say. We're impacted massively by whatever US is doing. So things don't look good. Global trade war has started. The US has imposed tariffs on other countries. On some countries, it has imposed high percentages of tariffs. So there's a baseline 10% tariff, but Trump has gone and imposed 30, 40, 50% tariffs on certain countries like China, EU. Check out that chart. Some of those numbers are large. Vietnam, for example, and Trump recently said that he talked to the Vietnamese leadership. They called them and then they're going to negotiate. But is it a negotiating tactic? I don't know anymore. I don't know. It doesn't look good for the global economy. China has retaliated with its own tariffs. Other countries are going to retaliate. EU probably. I'm going to share with you the global stock indexes tracker since President Donald Trump took office. There were 4 global stock indexes that were tracked by CNN that have performed better than S&P 500 in the US. Have a look at these stock indexes, and you can see that S&P is down in the year. The one for Europe is down. Mexico's IPC is down. It doesn't look good. As you can see, the percentage change from January 21st since Donald J. Trump took office. It's been crazy, and it doesn't look good. All these stock indexes are going down. It means that the stock market is not liking what is happening with the tariff situation. Times, what is going to be Canada's response? How will Canada's relationship with the US change? It is definitely going to change. It has changed already. I don't know, guys. I mean, people ask me this question, and I don't know. I really don't know what these are uncertain times. These are, changing times, and the worst is definitely not behind us. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty. We're in the midst of a global trade war. The global economy is different. Canadian leaders, what are they doing? Well, they're coming out with their own speeches. Poilievre said that As Prime Minister, he would propose to the President that they expedite a review and renegotiation of Canada of the CUSMA agreement. Yeah, that's what he said hours before Trump announced his tariffs. What about the other leaders? Carney, the current Prime Minister, says the old world order is now over. And he held out, he has said that the system of global trade anchored on the United States that Canada has relied on since the end of the war, that system, while not perfect, has helped deliver prosperity, and now that system is over. Carney says this is a tragedy, but a reality. So what does this mean for Canada and US? Well, the relationship has changed significantly, and it is not, it doesn't look good right now. Put down in the comments, what are your thoughts on the whole situation? There you go. Just wanted to do an update on the tariff situation, about what's happened in the past couple of days. These have been eventful times, and let's just say that they're eventful, but they're also pretty stressful for people with jobs, for people with businesses. Everyone is going to get impacted by it. That's it from my side. All right, guys. Until next time, bye-bye from Canadian See ya. And remember, things are looking bad right now, but they'll get better. At some point, just not sure when.